Okay, I'm starting this range test. So far we got 46 kilometers. Should give it some 46 kilometers on the bike, and I'm down to 47.8 volts, 47.9 at rest. The bike's at a couple hours, so this is the voltage. It shouldn't go too much further, I don't think, but on this trip, and the gas gauge shows it being right empty, and that happened about I'd say 49 volts when it was at rest. 49 and a half. It was showing 1 bar maybe, but it's these gas gauges on here could definitely have a different calibration settings. I'll try to work out what they should be. I don't know if I get the cable. I'm going to order the cable later today. Maybe I can program it. But it'd be nice if the gas gauge was accurate, or at least a lot more accurate than it is. It's not even close. So yeah, on this trip, not taking Roxy. She's tired. She's done these 46 kilometers. She's pretty tired. So I don't want to overdo it with her. She's done 46 kilometers. Today's pretty hot. It's around 30 Celsius. And yeah, I should be able to finish the range test on this trip right now. So I'll head out. See if I can get a better view of everything. Let's see. It's hard to get the display and the trail all at the same time. But let's see what I can do here. Not sure if that'll do it or not. So I'm going to try to go 5 kilometers, maybe 8, one direction, and then I'll head back. It seems like the bottom half of the battery disappears a little quicker than the top half. I think it's because the voltage is down, and you don't get as many watts because of it, so it's not as efficient. Like I don't have. It takes more capacity to get the 330 watts at 45 volts or 47 volts than it does at 58 volts. So the battery has to work harder to produce the watts. At least that's how I kind of figure it. It's not as powerful. You can definitely tell in this voltage range. It still has power, but nothing like it does at the top half, especially at the very top. It's really energetic at the higher voltages. So I'll shut this off until I get my first shutdown. So right now when I'm pedaling, it's going down. But right now I'm using 93 watts as I'm pedaling. Let's see, I'll put up the gears. So now it jumps up to 250 per second. So I'll keep going up in the gears. 270. I'm going 22 kilometers an hour. So 290. And then when it's in the higher voltages, when I'm pedaling in the top gear on the 11th tooth sprocket on the back, it's usually at 230, and I can, at this amount of effort of pedaling, I can usually get up to 30 kilometers an hour. Right now I'm only getting 24, and it's only giving me 220 watts instead of 330. So I'm putting more effort in and going slower now than normal. And it's at 44.2 volts now as I'm pedaling, 44 volts. I'll stop for a second. It jumps up to 46.1. So I don't imagine it has too many more kilometers in it before I get a shutdown. So it's 43.6. And when this does shut down, I'll make a note of exactly the voltage that it shut down. So if it was 45 resting volts and then 43 under power, and the 43 triggers it, that's what I'll calculate as it's shut down. But I know that if I let it rest for 10 minutes, pedal with the battery shut off, give it a few minutes to build up again, I should be able to go a few more kilometers again. But the initial shutdown is where I'll mark it at. And then I'll give the battery half hour to cool down when I get home. And then I'll charge it, figure out how many watt hours it took to fill it, how many amp hours it equals out to, and then that will be the usable watt hours and the usable amp hours of this 52 volt 20 amp hour battery. Okay, so it actually just, I think it actually just cut the power. I'm at 44.5, 44.6. Okay, so it shut down and I didn't get to go very far. I got 47.6 kilometers. So I guess now what I'll do is 44.6, so it basically tripped at, it would be 42.6 or 42.5 roughly. It's about 2.1 volts that it loses when you're pedaling. But mind you, it wasn't putting out the watts that it normally does. So 44.7, 44.6. Okay, I'm going to shut the battery off and I'll pedal back home with it off. I'll turn it on and see if I can get any more out of it, but it was 44.6. And I would say the trigger point is 43.6 or somewhere around 43. So that's a pretty safe range to shut down, but I was kind of hoping to get at least 50 kilometers out of it. I guess not. This is what we got, 47.6. Okay, so the battery sat now for about 5 minutes. I converted my trip meter to miles, so it's 29.7 miles is the shutdown, or 46.6 kilometers is the shutdown. But I'm going to see right now if I can get another little bit out of this battery now that it's rested a bit. And like that quad drove by right when it happened, so I wasn't watching the display, I was watching what he was doing. So it was just a bad timing because I almost never see quads very often, and he just happened to be passing by as I run out of battery. So right now I'll convert it back to kilometers. It's in imperial right now. I'll go to metric. Okay, so now we're at 47.6. So we'll try to go another little bit here, and then what I'm going to do is charge the battery. I'll probably do a separate video for charging it. I'll charge the battery after the bike sits for half an hour to cool down, and then I'll calculate how many watt hours goes into it, or amp, and then calculate the amp hours. So we'll figure out the actual usable capacity of this battery with a Bafang 52 volt motor. Even though it says 48 volt on the bottom of this motor, it's got the 52 volt controller, I believe. It had the 52 volt settings in this display, so I'll show you those. We'll go right there, 52 volt battery. You can switch it to 48. You got an option to switch that from 52 to 48. But when I ordered it, I ordered the 52 volts. And the guy guaranteed me it worked with 52 volts, and it seems to work fine with a 52 volt battery. So other than the gas gauge is the only thing that doesn't seem right. But even if I switch this to a 48 volt, the gas gauge still shows empty when it's at 49 volts. So that needs to be calibrated. Hopefully I can do that with the cable. So I'm going to head off and see if I got any power. I'm on power level 1. I'll try to get the trail in the view here. Okay. I'm kind of tired now because I was actually pedaling with leg power instead of motor power. Trust me, this e-bike, the motor really makes it easier. I'm sweating like crazy. It's hot out here. So yeah, I have power. I'll see you when it shuts down again. I'm going to keep it in our lower gears because right now it's only taking 87, about 100 watts to 87 watts to maintain this speed. If I go up in gears to head down towards the 11th tooth, it starts to climb in the demand of watts it takes. So I'm just going to keep this pace with the 86 watts and see if it's pretty much holding. Actually, it's taken 43 watts now to maintain a speed of 20 kilometers an hour. So I might make it home. So you got a few extra miles in it, or kilometers, after the initial shutdown. And you can always use your legs, but it's hard. I'm not used to it. I haven't pedaled on this bike for real in 2 years. I really enjoy the electric motor. Well, it looks like I might make it back. It wasn't very far away. I didn't go very far before this battery quit on me. But I was kind of pushing it. I was in the top gear. I forget what I was doing, maybe 22 kilometers an hour, and it was demanding quite a few watts. But yeah, 29.7 miles. Pretty good, and I guess the German Shepherd has the same range because she could have made this trip. I could have brought her. I thought I'd be going about 10 kilometers, not 1.5. So 2-year-old German Shepherd has the same range as a 20 amp hour 52 volt battery. But she needed a break. It's pretty hot. If I had to do another ride, I was going to go later in the evening when it's cool and bring her. Okay, it just shut down. I just lost power. So we got 48.3. And it was basically, we're at 43.2 volts right now. So it shuts down right at, I would say 43. So I'm going to shut this off. I'm going to do the video, put it online. But I'll do a separate video for charging it. I'll charge it, get the watt hours that it took, figure out the amp hours. Then everybody kind of knows what they're getting if they buy this 52 volt 20 amp hour from Amazon. It's not bad. I mean, on the road, I'm sure I would have got a lot more range rather than this bumpy rail bed. Anyways, bye for now.